All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. I'm not even sure how long this podcast is going to be. It might be a real shorty, or it might be just like an average 10 minutes. That's what I usually do. But what I want to call this podcast is Always in a Rush and Nowhere to Go. And the reason I bring this up is I see so many people throughout my life always kind of rushing and rushing others. And a lot of times I don't even know what they're rushing for. And they kind of make everybody nuts. I've worked with these people. I have these people as friends. I have these people as family members. And I goof around and call myself the sloth. But when it really does come to getting certain things done, I'm a machine. I'm not going to lie. In the old days when I did the vending business, I can move equipment. Basically, I used to say we were movers. Because in the vending business, people think, oh, in the vending business, all you basically do is pick up money. No, it's actually about picking up and dropping off equipment. It could be new, old. You can get a new location. You're bringing in 15, 20 pieces. Or you can lose a location. You could pick up 3 or 4 pieces. We're basically a moving company for the most part. So we had to move, and we had to do it quickly to get out of everyone's way. We either had to do it early in the morning, usually, before business opened up. It could be a bar, nightclub, gentleman's club, whatever the case may be. We were in the gaming, vending business, not food, much different. So anyways, and I've worked with people even if you're driving and say you are collecting money or doing something, going from place to place, they're driving like lunatics. They're always rushing. Not even because they're late. We know those people that are always late that have to rush, right? Those are just assholes for the most part. They don't care a lot of times. They're leaving their home or somewhere where they're supposed to be at that point in time. They really don't, respect other people's, and not to throw them under the bus, a lot of Italian immigrants that I even know and stuff, they're late all the time. It's almost like, it's cool almost to be a half an hour, 45 minutes late or whatever. Everybody's expected to be late. I just find that disrespectful. But it's not only that. I'm just talking always being in a rush and making you feel, I don't care if you're sitting down having a meal, meeting them for a drink. It could be, again, anything. It could be even at work. And I get at work, you got to get things done, right? You have schedules, you got to. But I think a lot of this rushing is full of shit. I think a lot of people want to make themselves look busier than they really are, or put this identity of that they do so much more than others. All right? And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to just throw this in there. I will say this, though. And I learned this from these Mexicans that we worked with in California. I came to Florida, they were painting. And the painters we were getting in Florida, I was helping with this job. And I'm not a painter, but I was just overseeing something. And the painters in Florida were just slow. It was taking them 2-3 days. I might have mentioned this once on a podcast. So I reached out to our company and said, these guys are really slow. They're not showing, blah, blah, blah. So we had to send in some Mexicans from California. And they were knocking stuff out in one day that was taking everybody else 3 days. They were unbelievable. And the reason I bring this up is, but when I would work with them, they were fast. They were in control. They weren't rushing. They were rushing to get it done. I shouldn't say not rush. They're not. There's a difference between being in an incredible pace, high level, and being in control compared to a lot of people that are rushing and out of control. So what they were doing, it looked like a walk in the park. They were so specific. They knew what they had to do. They just knew what they were doing, and they were doing it quickly and consistently. They didn't need attention. They didn't do it. Their work spoke for itself, and it was a great job. The reason I bring that up is I think people out there, listen, if you want to rush, right, that's cool. But there's also a lot of anxiety type rushing or kind of just, again, if you're back in a car and you see the person's rushing, how they drive and they're out of control. They're not driving in control fast, right? Or even in the workplace, the way they may even be sending you too many emails, or you may be receiving too many, or they're on the phone for too long, or they're not helping you. They're supposed to be training you, or there's all these different types of things. It's a rush. Even, your conversations may be too brief, and you have questions and they're not willing to answer them because they're claiming they're in a rush or they have other things to do or they don't want to be bothered. A lot of this is bullshit. I'm just telling you right now, I believe. I believe a lot of things can be done correctly at a high level, but it could be steady and smooth. But people just don't know how to do that. I don't know why they do that, and I'm not here to bitch about those people and say that they're absolutely wrong, because a lot of people like to rush, get a lot of shit done, and, wonderful for them. I just can't do it. But I think a lot of society, too, is making us feel like, and I see this with young people, too, they're kind of programming them to say, you got to be able to, do all these things at a certain amount of time. You got to be able to, make a certain amount of money very quickly, or you have to find a job at this level in this amount of time, or just, it's not just rushing in life every day. It's just rushing your life and not even enjoying what you're doing when you're doing it, because you're rushing it. I went through that, I'll never forget it, on my wedding day, actually, because everything is a rush. And we had a big wedding, and we had to go to the Basilica, which is one of the biggest churches in the Midwest, and it was wonderful. But I was being told what to do constantly, and our Mass went real long. We had a traditional Catholic Mass. I think the thing went 2.5, 3 hours, something crazy. But my point being, when I was there with the photographer and all these things, and then go here, go there, go there, I remember at the end, I was like, it went so fast. I'm like, did I actually really, I was being told and being distracted and being rushed from place to place to place. I didn't even talk to probably 70% of my family members, maybe in line when they came through very quickly. I didn't even know who showed or didn't show. I barely knew. And that even guys in my own party, because I had a massive bridal party, and I don't even remember talking to some of them. And most of my closest friends, and I had I'm not kidding, I don't even know, we had 15, 20 on each side. It was massive, plus the kids and everything. It was huge as far as my immediate family and stuff being a part of the wedding. And then I remember going to my honeymoon in Vegas, and I just said, you know what? I'm putting the brakes on, man. So I just chilled. I said, this is ridiculous. And I think a lot of us in life, it could be with our kids. It could be just that rush, rush, rush. It could be in a relationship we're in. When we go do things together, we're just rushing to go in, to get out. It doesn't have to be that way. Now, if you want it to be that way, that's fine. But I just kind of am going back to the old traditional sitting down, relaxing. Because a lot of times I think no matter what people say, they're rushing, especially to get home, to sit on their ass. So they'll go nuts, trying to get home as quickly as possible, do whatever, eat as fast as possible, do whatever they have to do in the house. Then they'll sit for 5 hours. So do whatever you want to do. I don't know. Am I lazy? I don't know. I am what I am, and maybe you are who you are, but I'm just telling you, I think a lot of us are rushing, and it doesn't have to be that nuts. Maybe for you in your life it does, and I get if you live in Chicago, New York, California, I've spent months, if not years, in all those type of places, even driving in them, and I get you got to go with the the flow of the traffic flow or the lifestyle that you're kind of surrounded by. But even when I'm in Manhattan, Chicago, LA, San Fran, or wherever I'm at, Toronto or whatever, I go my own pace. I don't have to walk as fast as everybody else. I don't have to drive like a lunatic. I don't have to do a lot of things that people, I think, get caught up doing day in and day out that make them very frustrated. You kind of go at your own pace. Even when I travel, I used to see people traveling like an animal. You got to catch this, do the earliest flight, and you got to run here, and you got to do this. I'm like, I'm going to keep the same schedule I always kept, and I'm going to make it work for me, and I'm going to get the job done. I'm not going to destroy my health. I'm not going to destroy my lifestyle because all of a sudden I have this work to do, and I know it's high level, but I could still get it done without and I can enjoy it, is what I should say. And I think a lot of us just miss out on that. All right, that's all I got for you. Take care. If you want to know more, just go to richcelenza.com. Take care.